extra time.
He's got Stokes out 10 times, I think, in Test cricket. You know, as a batsman, when you come up against a bowler who's got you out that many times, what do you do?
Well, it's a challenge. I mean, I think Ben actually has, at times, different styles of playing. He can build into an innings as well. You know, I think Ben also has that ability, you know, to put a bowler on the back foot as well. And that's something which, you know, he certainly shouldn't forget.
If you sum up the challenge of facing Ashwin in the second innings as a left-hander, all that rough, how difficult is that, and what have you done to try and work on that this week?
Well, I mean, it's not just for the left-handers. I mean, if the pitch spins, he's obviously dangerous, you know, for left and right-handers. He's a fine bowler in those conditions as well. So, I mean, you know, in terms of working with the players, I mean, it was important to, you know, get a good clear mind and kind of push that game away and try and reflect on it in terms of, you know, what could we have done better. It comes back down to similar things, trying to really, you know, trust your footwork and also trusting your defence, staying calm as we can as well. But also you need to be positive in your mind in terms of your ability to score runs as well. And then hopefully that does get you in a better position just to play all round, whether that's attacking or defending. But we know we've got again another, you know, tough a week ahead of us. But we're looking forward to it.
We talked a lot about conditions out in India, and now we're going to throw in a pink ball and day-night as well. How much of an impact is that going to have on this Test match, do you think?
Well, just by the nature of it, obviously half day, half night. So, you know, we've had both our practice sessions, which we've had. One's been in the evening, one's been more in the afternoon. The challenge of facing the pink ball, the changing conditions, obviously, we'll have to react well to, and we'll have to adapt well to as well. There's slight unknown quantity, but often the pink ball does a little bit more in the evenings than it does in the afternoon for the seamers. But we'll have to also take a look at the pitch regarding the spinners as well during the daytime.
And you mentioned there the pink ball and the seamers. Do you think it's going to have far more, and the seamers will have far more of an influence in this than we've seen in the first couple of tests, where it has been very, very much in favour of the spinners?
Well, it's possible. It's possible. I mean, it's without looking into the crystal ball, but I would imagine that the ball generally does swing more under the lights. They don't have in a way a huge database of pink ball cricket in India. I think maybe the second one. So we're looking forward to it. It's going to be, it's a fantastic stadium. As I say, we've prepared as well as we can, and we've got one more night practice tomorrow.
We talked a lot over this winter about the form of Joe Root and how important he is, but how crucial is it now for someone else to step up and lighten the load on the captain and come up with those big innings as he's been doing so far?
Yep, very important, very important. Obviously, Joe's been in really good form this winter, but it is important. You know, I mean, we try to just constantly talk around, you know, building the partnerships together, and hopefully that leads to, you know, what we try to do is to get our first innings runs, which are going to be crucial. You know, we were well short, obviously, in the last Test match, so clearing the minds and looking forward to this Test match has been really important.
Just a word on Jonny Bairstow. I mean, I would think not only come into the mix, but should pretty much get into the team based on his strong record, especially in Asia. What are you expecting from him, and what kind of advantage does a batting lineup with a Jonny Bairstow in it bring you?
Well, Johnny did well in Sri Lanka. You're absolutely right, and he will come back into the mix. As I say, all the players are fit, so we've got a choice to make going into this match, and we know what Johnny's credentials are. He's a good player of spin. He's got a decent record. As I say, he played well in Sri Lanka, so he's certainly going to be in with a shout. But as I say, it's very similar. I mean, we're still a day out from the Test match. You still want to have a proper look at as a pitch comes closer to the match as well.
A lot of batsmen have talked about the twilight period being the most challenging in a pink ball test. I just wanted to gain your perspective as to how important is it for the batters to be proactive and not get into their shells during this twilight period.
Yes, I mean, having had the practice sessions which we've had, it may have been a little bit more noticeable that the ball did move around. I mean, like anything, batting it can be quite dependent on how you're being bowled to. So that's one thing. Just having an understanding of what's coming down at you, and like anything, if you can execute well, then you're going to give yourself a good chance of scoring runs in any conditions.
And just another follow-up. This is a new stadium and the seats and lights are quite shiny looking at far away. Do you think a short ball tactic, if a team employs that, it can be very hard for the batsman to get away with?
Well, the side screens are in place, so hopefully, in terms of coming out of the seats, I mean, it depends. Again, the seating has a certain colouring, so it could be slightly harder for the fielders at times, but we'll have to see how it plays out.
Hit the subscribe option and the bell icon to get all the exclusive sports videos on Extra Time.